Good afternoon. Welcome to the April 18th Friday edition of Rotary Club. Beavercreek. And thank you all for being here. I wasn't sure what kind of turnout we had today. First, I want to thank our greeners, Bob and Choi, and David Brandenburg, who's probably getting food right now. Eric Marcus for doing everything that he does. I do want to actually thank David Kuzak for stepping up and helping this morning, since we have nobody at the table over there except for Eric. So, and Beth is not here. Thank Pete Bales, Mark Weinstein, Mike Swink for the great programs, and Jim Gundel for the website. Education, Danny. Well, welcome on this absolutely beautiful spring afternoon. What a gorgeous day. So, Holy Creator, it's good to recognize how different we are. Our talents, our dreams, our backgrounds, and our occupations. It's good to know that when you created each of us, you broke the mold. No one is exactly like anybody else. Even our thumbprints and our voice tracks tell us how unique we are. Yet, we thank you that we can take these differences and mobilize them for the good of Rotary, our community. And in our differences, we can think the same thoughts and move together towards a common goal. Let us now, as we meet together, thank you for our individuality and also for the common bond of Rotary. Amen. Thank you, Jenny. Secretary's report. Joe's not here. David.
Yeah, I'm Mark Juergens. I grew up in East Dayton, went to Wilbur Wright High School, and if you remember when that was the high school. I went to college at Bowling Green, and we've lived in Western Montana for the last 22 years. And I'm back. I still have 3 or 4 brothers. Actually, I have 3 from Dayton, 1 in Cincinnati, still here. And so I come back every once in a while to visit. I go to different clubs when I'm back. And so it's the first time I've actually been to this club. Appreciate the opportunity.
When did you graduate from Wilbur Wright?
Oh my goodness. Let's go back. About 1965.
Okay, my wife graduated in 66. So,
Well, what was her last name?
Massey. I can guarantee you that I know everybody should. No.
I guarantee you that. I don't know if this is the time, but I do have a flag I'd like to give.
Sure.
This is from our Rotary Club in Hamilton, Montana. No.
Great. Thank you. There's a Montana Rotary.
Yes, good.
Once you out, we'll get a photo so we can have it.
Okay, good. Hamilton's if anybody knows, it's far western Montana, about 9 miles from the Idaho border, as the crow flies. If you know where Missoula is by any chance, anybody? Well, 35 miles south of Missoula. Most people know where we live by the fact that they filmed the TV show Yellowstone about 15 miles south. So it's not, doesn't make us happy, but that's how people recognize where we're from. So.
She noticed Chris isn't here today. He texted me this morning at 8:10 and said that he won't be here to do the sergeant's report. I was in a meeting, so I said, okay, put all together because one minute I need to have a report. So here we go. Today's April 18th. What kind of that? Usually I have to walk up to that applause, but being here, it's really great. It's the 108th day of the year of 2025. There's only 257 days remaining. And I'm sure they'll go by as fast as the first 180 the way things are going. Today we celebrate Animal Crackers Day.
obviously Good Friday. It's International Amateur Radio Day. International Day of Monuments and Sites. So if you want to go visit someplace, go visit today. National Hot Cross Bun Day. National Newspaper Columnist Day. There's getting more and less and less and less of those, so to really celebrate them. And National Transfer Money to Your Daughter's Account Day. Shannon's shaking his head. National Velociraptor Day. Pet Owners Independence Day. Pinata Day. And World Marbles Day. On this day in history, in 1506, the cornerstone of the current St. Peter's Basilica was laid by Pope Paul Julius II. And in 1775, does anybody know what happened?
Paul Revere.
Yes, sir. Paul Revere, William Dawes and Samuel Prescott derived from, it was actually William Dawes and Samuel Prescott along with Paul Revere. That had rode from Charleston to Lexington, Wayne. Ooh. No, the regulars are coming.
Make my children, you shall hear. Nice drive.
Yes, sir. 1783, the American Revolution, George Washington issued general orders announcing the end of hostilities with Britain, giving thanks to the Almighty, and offering congratulations and authorizing an extra ration of alcohol to the troops to celebrate. 1899, Valley Shore, like the St. Andrews Ambulance Association, is granted royal charter by Queen Victoria. In 1906, San Francisco earthquake and fire killed 4,000 while destroying 75% of the city. In 1923, there were 74,000 people on hand for the opening of Yankee Stadium. In 1924, the first crossword puzzle book was published by Simon and Schuster. And in 1930, I wish somebody would do this today. A BBC News announcer announced, "There is no news." In 1942, the Stars and Stripes paper for the U.S. Armed Forces was started. Also in 1942, the Doolittle raid, James Doolittle led the first air raid over mainland China, or excuse me, Japan, bombing Tokyo and other Japanese cities. In 1946, Jackie Robinson debuted as a second baseman for the Montreal Royals. Most recently, in 1998, Tennessee quarterback Peyton Manning was picked by the Indianapolis Colts. In our club, we don't have any birthdays the last week. No Parker birthdays last week. We have a couple of wedding anniversaries though. Todd Figgins and his wife RJ, 9 years. And Pete Landerman and his wife Terry, 35 years. Actually, it's so complicated. I can all some fun and useless facts that'll make you think. The chippy, does anyone know how long that is? Thousands. What? 30th of a second. Wow. The cigarette lighter was invented before the match. Dragonflies, yes, but it can't walk. It's possible to lead a cow upstairs, but not downstairs. Pope John Paul II was an honorary Harlem Globetrotter. Mulan had the highest kill count of any Disney character. Amazing, right? There are 3.6 cans of Spam consumed every second. The average, I don't know, you're going to say, the average American looks at 8 houses before buying one. Not anymore. No. A snail can sleep for 3 years. Boy, it'd be nice to do that once. I didn't even dozens. Your stomach produces a new layer of mucus every 2 weeks so that it doesn't digest itself. Right-handed people on average live 9 years longer than left-handed. That's quick. Simple. Women have more taste buds than men. And women see more colors than men. That's where at the golf course, the number of dimples on a regulation golf ball is 336.
You can call that right.
The Alvin Paul's business card said he was a used furniture dealer. The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items.
That's really gratifying.
It's always in the last place to look. The crocodile's not stick his tongue out. Let's get that close to look and see. And punctuation wasn't always part of our written language. I don't know if you've ever seen some of these sentences without punctuation, but they can mean almost anything. This is useless knowledge. There are 32 muscles in a cat's ear. The king of hearts is the only king in the deck of cards without a mustache. And animals that lay eggs don't have belly buttons. Once my father came home and found me in front of a roaring fire, that made him very, very mad. We didn't have a fireplace. That's when my wife was talking. Your mother's been with us for 20 years, said John. Isn't it time she got a place of her own? My mother, by Helen, I thought she was yours. One of the oddities of Wall Street is that the dealer and not the customer who is called broker. Calzone is just an Italian word to make you feel better about eating a hot pocket in public. And I have thought about this one. I can't stop thinking about people who were the first to eat mushrooms. They found and had to go through the trial and error of this. The first one tastes like beef. This one killed Brian immediately. And this one makes you see God for a week. And I'm thinking because you can wrap it around anything. Basically, it's the duct tape of food. Hangovers only last a day, but a good drinking story can last a lifetime. Today's quote's in honor of our speaker. It's kind of interesting. As I said last week, we had the tissue recovery person last week. Now we have hospice this week, so that kind of reversed. That's all right. But in the end, it's not the years of your life that count. It's the life in your years. And healing is not always about curing. Sometimes it's about comforting the soul. Today's slides. If you've ever eaten an animal cracker, that's $1. If you've ever played marbles, that's $1. If you've ever been to a baseball game, that's $1. If you've ever played golf, that's $1. So if you're not wearing your wristband again, that's $1. Well, we haven't had a sergeant for a few weeks, so I need to make up some time here. If you don't think a regular, fine, you. Yeah. What for you? Yeah, David goes around like this, spines should be 3 or 4 for anybody. Happy bucks. Eric.
Happy bucks. Yeah. With bears that got holes in my pillow because my pillars are made out of driving. But I have to fill in with stuff that I said, it looks terrible. But this past week or 2 weeks ago, Harold Hoover, you did with one of the holes for him. And it's nasty. That's my happiness. Just want to say happy Easter to everyone. Thank you.
Anyone else happy bucks? Oh, do the drawing here in a minute, let me collect all that. Announcements?
Volunteering Monday to help clean up Dominic Park in preparation of our service day on Saturday. The city has some waiver forms that they want us to fill out under volunteering, so if you volunteer for Monday, just come see me. I have work here. Can we just show up for this? Yeah, just show up, yeah. And if you do volunteer on Monday, feel free to bring your book. You have your they prefer, but they will have some.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? I know David's gonna have a couple of things. I'll let him finish this thing. Founders Day is coming up on May 9th. If you haven't signed up, please do so. It's going to be held at the Pentagon Tower, 3500 Pentagon Boulevard. Yeah, as Beth said, April 25th is our, excuse me, April 25th is our district gala, which is the night before that we do the soaring into spring at Rufino Park. And Jim, you want to say anything?
He's not. Airports? Yes.
Founders Day is Pentagon Tower. Jim wants to know, once you can renew your flags for heroes if you haven't already done so. So please see him about that. Yes.
Don't bother me. Give me a message. If you want to put me on to somebody who I can solicit to either donate or sponsor or join us with the forces, let me know. But just let me know once you're in. So at least I don't care when you pay. I just want to make sure we have a good count. So thanks. Pretty sure it's all with you for that.
Sure. Unmentioned is that on the day of the golf outing on the 16th, there's no noon meeting. Oh. The golf outing is taken because the golf outing starts at 9 and we'll go through. So there's no noon meeting that day. And I didn't go for it.
And the same for Founders Day, there is no new meeting. It'll be done that night.
And for
Yes.
no meeting, sure you each have one long shot.
And then our meeting on May 2nd will be at the Career Center. I'll send you more information about that. Probably next week. Any other announcements? Ticket drawing. 136 025.
Yeah, all right. Close but not the guard. Only on the right here. 024. Jack. And just Jack, for Lieutenant Family.
Have the proceeds go to our Christmas basket program.
Shocker, the piper.
She shook her head, so the pot must be growing. All right, our speaker today is a gentleman I know fairly well, a couple of other organizations I'm all with, but he graduated from Beavercreek High School as a third generation Beavercreek resident. His third generation graduate too, right?
Second generation.
Second generation. The U.S. Air Force veteran and member of Beavercreek's American Legion of 763. He served 5 years as a full-time realtor with Remax, Victory, and affiliates. Previously, he had 25 years in the IT, trade show, events, and museum exhibits. He's a fourth generation Mason, which is one of the, well, we know each other. He's current Master Mason of the Beavercreek Masonic Lodge. He's a 32nd degree Mason with the Dayton Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite at the Masonic Center. He's a Shriner, Bobby, Carl, drives a lot of cars around. And
Clown around.
and the reason he's here today, he's a 15-year volunteer with Ohio Hospice and current vice chairman of Ohio Hospice Foundation Directors, Doc Hoder.
I need this because of the Zoom meeting, correct? All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Don, for having me out. I'm honored to be here to speak today. Ohio's hospice, very dear to my heart. Very passionate about it. They cared for my mother close to 15 years ago. And my mother came down with cancer in 99. That's when my head got shaved, and I've kept that look ever since. She fought breast cancer for 7 years, 2006. The cancer took the best of her, and she went into hospice. During her period with Ohio's hospice, she saw just about every aspect of their service, from the facility itself. She was at the hospital, and hospice came in. She was at a nursing home for a period of time, where they came in impaired. She experienced their in-home care. So I've seen through her, my grandmother, and through various friends and family members, everything that they have to offer. It took me a few years, but then I eventually came around and I started participating in the Remembrance Walk, because it was a way to honor her, but it was also therapy for me. And so I got involved with the walk, and then I started sponsoring the walk. And then for 3 years, I was with the help of Exhibit Concepts, I was presenting sponsor. They seen my enthusiasm, my passion. They asked me to help facilitate the walk. Then they're like, "We need you at other walks. We need you on the golf committee." I don't golf, never have. I sat on the golf committee for 10 years. It's about, bringing it to light, showing people you can have fun while also giving back to a great organization. They even had me in the hair show. They do a hair show. They've done a hair show for a number of years. They painted my head with the hospice logo, breast cancer, and the Ohio State Buckeyes. So, and then it just continued to grow. Then they asked me, they said, "We would love to have you on the board." That was a little over 4 years ago. I've now sat on the board, and my time has come. This August, I will become chairman of Ohio's Hospice. Ohio's Hospice started right here in Dayton, 1978. It is down on Wilmington Pike next to 10 Wilmington Place. That's where it all began. We've grown over the years, and we now have Miami County. We have a Troy facility. We've actually got 17 facilities across the state. We cover 66 of the 88 counties here in Ohio. So, let me get into some, see if I can figure this out. Eric, you said turn it on, right?
Yeah.
Good. Got that part. Am I not close enough?
No, it should be. Light control.
There we go. Solid. There it goes. It's working. So I wanted to throw this in here. I want to talk to you about the services they offer. I am a volunteer. If there's doctors in the room, attorneys, financial advisors, those are the people you want to talk to or reach out to Ohio's Hospice. Again, a volunteer. I'm a clown. You don't want me taking advice from me. Unless it's real estate, I'll be happy to help you. Don covered all of this. You can see, I'm very active here in the Dayton community. Hospice, the American Legion. We do the clowns. The bobbies, we ride the bikes in the parades. We had the circus here about 4 years ago out of Greene County. That was one of the funnest times when I actually got to meet Governor DeWine. So you'll see Carl, and I've done TV appearances for Hospice and the Shriners. Carl Nichols is a good friend of mine. And I'll see him here in a few weeks at a hospice event that is coming up. I'll share more with you on. Philanthropy, made up by two parts, Greek The Greek word phil, meaning loving, and anthrop, mankind, refers to the desire to help people or the actual deeds of a person that they do to benefit mankind. Philanthropy transcends the mere act of raising funds. It embodies the heartfelt contributions of time, talent, and treasure. This was a slide put in by the foundation, so I do have to refer to the notes. I don't have this memorized. The key differences between Ohio's hospice and the various other hospice organizations around the state, we are one of the only nonprofits in the state of Ohio. There is a difference between us and the others. That's probably one of the most misconceptions I hear most is they're all the same. They are not. So the driving motivation is one of the key differences. Nonprofits, it's all built based on, let me get back through here. Driving motivation comes from the staff, the volunteers. The driving motivation for for-profits, obviously it's money. Revenue sources, ours are, nonprofits, it's grants, donations, things of that nature. For-profit, it's a service that's offered to the consumer. Tax status. We are tax exempt, so we don't have to pay tax on most of the services that we provide. Just the opposite for the for-profits. Public benefit focus. That's what our hospice is all about. We're about giving back to the community. Eric shared a story with me earlier, if you don't mind me mentioning this. And I hear this at least once a month. It's the stories like Eric shared with me. His mother-in-law went through hospice in Indiana. But his wife needed some counseling. She went to she went to hospice at Dayton, and they were able to give her counseling. There's no charge for that. There's no charge for a lot of the services we offer because that's done through donations. You go out and unfortunately we have incidences that occur in the Dayton community where there's a car accident after prom or there's a shooting that we hear all too often anymore. It is Ohio's hospice counselors that are going out to these schools and counseling these kids. It's just another service that we offer. Ownership and governance. Ownership is by the shareholders and by the board. We oversee how the money is captured and how it is spent. With profits, it's typically by ownership, direct ownership by members that own the organization. Organizational structure, again, the board oversees sees all that. With businesses, it's all about the profit. Performance metrics, we meet once a quarter. We're always evaluating how the money is being spent within our organization. Target audience, it's the community. With for-profits, it's the consumer. Transparency. We put our financials out there to all the shareholders within and the donors. Profit distribution, again, it goes right, all the money that we produce through the fundraising and through the grants goes right back into the services we offer. A lot of the services that are extra, when a patient goes through Ohio's hospice, Ohio's hospice will turn around and bill Medicare, Medicaid, the insurance companies. Only about 80% of that is picked up through them. The rest of it comes through the donations and grants that we do. And then we also offer those extra services. We have pet therapy, music therapy, art therapy, massage therapy. We do a veteran pinning program. We have honor guard nurses that come in and do things. We've got a kids camp. We sponsor this camp for kids that have experienced grief. And this goes on down, southeastern Ohio. They come down, they spend the weekend. They've lost a parent, they've lost a sibling, a grandparent. We work with them over the weekend to help them understand they're not alone. There's other kids that are going through this, and it's okay to open up. So I've done that 2 years, and it is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life, to watch these kids come in, and it's like watching a butterfly develop from a caterpillar. They come in, they're all closed up, confined. They don't want to talk to anybody. By the end of the weekend, one of the kids we had, he's up on stage at a little talent thing we did, and he's singing about his weekend. So it's very rewarding. I've kind of touched on some of these now. The foundation is just an extension of Ohio's hospice. The funds we raise supports the patients as well as their loved ones. Our counseling is here. Counselors are there for the family before something happens and long after. If Eric's wife wanted to come back and receive additional counseling today, she's more than welcome. We're always there for the community. There's no time restraint on that. And then we ensure the long-term endowment growth. We've been around since 1978. We've experienced some hard times with COVID. The funds, we're very diligent about the funds that we raise and how it is spent. So we've made sure we had some reserves during COVID, and that's helped us thrive these last couple of years when other hospices have closed. There is we talk about the veteran program that we offer. There is a link, and this can be found on the website that I'll share in just a few. One of our veterans shares his experience, and it's about 6 minutes long. You can go on and watch that. You can go to the website. Again, I'm going to touch on this here in a minute. You can see a lot of people that have come forward and shared their stories. I talked about the Pathways of Hope, the kids camp that we offer. Uninsured care. Again, we cover what insurance or Medicaid, Medicare doesn't, but we also have patients that come in that don't have any insurance at all. We don't turn them away. Capital projects is the other thing that we fund. You come down to the Hospice of Dayton facility, you'll notice there's a giant pond. We've got a giant Veterans Memorial. We've got a memorial garden. The hospice up in Troy, Miami County, is one of our most beautiful facilities as well. When we designed that building, the rooms are designed so that patients in there, and it's a nice day like today, and the family wants to take them out to the patio, they can wheel the bed right out onto the patio so they can enjoy some of that sunshine. How we receive donations. You go to a funeral service, you may see our envelopes that are laying out there. We have direct mails, grants through the state, the events, which I'll get more into here in just a moment. We've got the legacy gifts. People are leaving, as part of their will or trust, leaving money to our organization, and then just gifts in kind, which I'll touch more on as well. Some of the events that we do, I've mentioned several when I first came out. Butterfly is one that we started doing about 4 years ago, and that's probably been one of the most touching. Miami County and Hospice of Dayton have held this event. You come out, we have a few speakers, you're issued a butterfly, you can take it out on the ground somewhere with your family, say a few words among yourselves, and then release your butterfly. We do culinary events. We've held a couple events at our Paragon location, and then we've also done an event or two out at Carolina Park We have, and we try to, when we bring in chefs from around the area, we try to stay away from chains. We try to support local. So we bring in the chefs, we have drinks, we've had, the dueling pianos come in and provide entertainment. Donations are made and everything we do at an event, regardless of where it's at, stays within that community. So our hospice organization up in Worcester, Ohio, they did a culinary event about a month ago. And all that money raised stays right there in Worcester to support that community. Because that's one of the things that people always worry about is, I made a donation in Dayton. Is that going up to the other, another facility that's up near Toledo or up near Cleveland? The money stays right here in Dayton. The golf events and then the walk is where it all started for me. We hold walks all over the state. Additional ways that you can remember your loved ones. We've got Tree of Life. You can go in and buy a leaf that goes on the tree. We have pavers at our north location. The south, we're doing the memorial wall now. And then you can make contributions towards the garden. These are all ways of memorializing your loved one, but also giving back, honoring them. And let's see, shops. We do have another way we raise money through the shops. So we got one in Troy, Worcester, and Dover, Ohio. Families will donate furniture, various knickknacks, that sort of thing. They give it. It's like a resale shop, and that money ends up going back to Ohio's hospice so we can provide additional services. Making a difference. Be an advocate. That's my way. There is no way I could ever do what those nurses and those volunteers do day in and day out. I go in and I visit with, if there's a Mason within our Masonic organization that passes and I get word of it, I make a point to go down and visit with them or the family. But to watch the volunteers, what they've done for my family, I couldn't do it. It takes a very special person to do that. Other ways, you can volunteer at the fundraising events, volunteer at the resale shops. You've got the administrative clerical support. They've got greeters that sit at the front desk. We've got a guy that comes in and makes popcorn for the staff and volunteers, families. We have people that have therapy dogs. They bring their therapy dogs in. Ladies that make quilts. We have volunteers that go out, and you've got patients that don't have family, unfortunately. And they go out and they'll donate a couple days a week or whatever time permits. They go out and sit with the patients for a couple hours and just talk. So there's various ways to give back. And then monetarily, you can bequest through your will. You can give stocks. That gives you the ability to avoid the capital gain tax. Life insurance policies, IRA contributions, these are all things to talk to your financial advisor about, or I can connect you with somebody at Ohio's hospice. Another thing that we've done, we've partnered with Free Will. It gives you to go in there and either create or update your existing will or trust, and it's at no cost. And then I wanted to go back, wanted to touch briefly. I can do this. There it is. Internet access. Do we have internet?
Yes.
Okay. I want to briefly show real quick. If you go to our ohiosis.org page,
Didn't say we had fast internet.
I can hear the dial, so that's good. On the main page, you will see attending events, volunteering. When you click on the attend event, it's going to show you all the events across the state that we're doing, dates, locations. But as you'll see over here on the right, Maybe share.
No, shows it up there, but it doesn't.
Oh, share on the Zoom.
Yeah. That's not the right one. Where? Well, so here we go. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm not finding controls. So what do you want? Where's the?
Great, that should be probably that one right there.
Here, now the people online. So, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. It's our call.
So you're gonna be attending an event. You can see you've got Newark, Middletown. Scroll up, you'll see Dayton. Dayton, but say you've got a family that's in Marysville. You want to know if something's going on there, you click on that. It'll take you, I don't know if they do, but I believe Newark may have some. So the things that they've done here recently, they had dueling pianos, and then we had celebrating life stories. So again, the website is full of information. Whether you're wanting to volunteer, whether wanting to donate, you want to come out to the event, you have general questions. We're just here to help our families and the community. Any questions?
What happened to the store up in Wilmington you used to have for years?
The store up there recently, well, I think that closed about a year ago. We weren't getting enough furniture or items from the community. And we were also, because of COVID, we started struggling with getting people to volunteer to man that. And, you know, if we have to pay somebody to do it, then we're kind of defeating the purpose.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, it's not a question, it's a statement. My husband got sick with brain cancer, went last home very suddenly. And to make a long story short, it's a great story in a long, but I'm going to go with the short. Hospice came in, and at the very end, I kept him at home the whole time. At the very end, they were in our house 24/7. They are the most amazing people you would ever want to know. I just don't know how I personally would have ever gotten through all that without those wonderful women. And I thank you all very much.
Thank you. Maybe talk about the in-home care. One of the things we've done in the last year and a half, we've invested in our own mobility, our own ambulance units. We now have roughly about 10 across the state. And what I've been experiencing with this, I think there's two stories. One, my husband was they were transporting his wife from the hospital to home where she wanted to pass. And she had this favorite coffee shop. And the volunteers that drove the mobile unit stopped at that coffee shop so they could go through, and they got her favorite coffee. And I'm like, that's something you're not going to find from one of these other services. Similarly, the husband and wife, and the husband was getting ready to pass. They had a house built, but they never got to move in. So they stopped at the house, and the volunteers got him out in a wheelchair, and they gave him a tour of the house before they took him to the hospice house. So it's stories like that. We go the extra mile. The volunteers do. They do it out of kindness to the heart. And it's things like that and the stories that are shared by families that keep driving me to continue doing what I'm doing. So thank you again for your time today. Thanks for having me. It's been an honor speaking with you guys.
Anything things, I'm not sure you mentioned how beautiful the grounds are, the day, that's Hopkins of Dayton. It's just walking from the parking lot to where you need to go. It's a really nice trip.
And it's volunteers. That's one of the other ways that a lot of LexisNexis is known for coming out and volunteering at our facility. They come out and they'll clean the grounds, clean the flowers, trim up the shrubs. If you come out and visit and it happens to be noon, they play taps every day at noon. And it's to be out at the we have a veteran memorial that's all made out of granite, honoring all of the wars and a little story on each one. And it is so touching to be out there when taps are playing and spending time at the Veterans Memorial. So I could go on and on with stories, but thank you again.
Thanks, Don. Hospice of Dayton is pretty important to me too. I think this is your phone. My wife worked there as a charge nurse for 12 years. So I know exactly what it takes to do that. I could never do it. It's amazing how those nurses do. As always, we dedicate a book. Today's, and we'll go in the library here in Beavercreek, it's Mind Maps, Physics for Kids. So thank you, Beth. Next week meeting is David Hayes, Green County Prosecutor. We'll need 2 graders, Bill Romine and Tammy were scheduled to do it, but they had to leave and go to Missouri. Your sergeant just father that passed away, so yes, Kuzak's going to do it. Thank you. Already have 2.
You can join that.
Enjoy it. We can have 3 or 4, no problem. The more the merrier. Keep your eyes open for any upcoming programs or beavercreekrotary.com or Facebook page. Anything else for the good of the club?
I do have pamphlets, information coming about some upcoming events, general information. You're happy to take this. We do have an hour of impact luncheon coming up. If you want more information on that, on just attending or sponsoring, I'll be happy to get you more information on that as well.
Very good.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming from Montana. Thank you for having, appreciate you being here. You all stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the top, the dance, nation, control, liberty, and very Easter, and